Descendants of the Sun. Part 1. Meeting and Reunion. In a large, busy hospital in the heart of a bustling city, Dr. Lily Park worked tirelessly every day. She was known for her gentle nature and exceptional skills. Patients and colleagues alike admired her dedication. One day, fate brought an unexpected visitor to the hospital, Captain Alex Kim, a soldier from the Special Forces. Alex was tall, strong, and had a warm smile that could make anyone feel at ease. He had come to the hospital with a young boy who had gotten hurt while playing. Lily met Alex in the emergency room. As she treated the young boy's injuries, she couldn't help but notice Alex's calm and caring demeanor. They exchanged a few words, and Lily found herself intrigued by this brave soldier. After the boy was treated and sent home, Alex stayed back to thank Lily. He asked if she would like to have a cup of coffee with him. Lily, curious about the man who had such an interesting job, agreed. They met at a cozy cafe near the hospital. Over coffee, Alex shared stories about his life as a soldier. He talked about the dangerous missions he undertook to protect people and maintain peace. Lily listened intently, fascinated by his experiences. In return, she told him about her life as a doctor, the long hours, and the satisfaction she felt in saving lives. They discovered that, despite their different worlds, they had a lot in common. As days turned into weeks, Alex and Lily grew closer. They met whenever they could, talking for hours about their hopes and dreams. But their time together was always limited. Alex's job often took him away on missions, sometimes without any notice. Each time he left, Lily worried for his safety.
But she also understood that his work was important, just like hers. One day, Alex received orders to go on a long mission. He didn't know when he would return. He met Lily one last time before he left, and they promised to stay in touch. Lily watched him go with a heavy heart, praying for his safe return.
She threw herself into her work to keep herself busy and not think too much about how much she missed him. Months passed, and life at the hospital went on. Lily continued to work hard, but she often found herself thinking about Alex. She missed his smile and the sound of his voice. Then one day, an exciting opportunity came her way. Lily was selected to join a medical team on a mission to a faraway country called Uruk. The people there needed help because of natural disasters and conflicts. It was a chance for Lily to make a difference in a place that desperately needed her skills. Lily packed her bags and prepared for the journey. She felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as she boarded the plane. When she arrived in Uruk, she was struck by how different everything was. The landscape was rugged, and there were soldiers everywhere. The local people looked tired and worried. Lily and her team quickly set up a makeshift hospital to start treating patients. One evening, after a long day of work, Lily heard a familiar voice behind her. She turned around and saw Alex standing there, smiling at her. She couldn't believe her eyes. She ran to him and hugged him tightly. Alex explained that he had been assigned to a peacekeeping mission in Uruk. He was as surprised as she was to see her there. Reunited in such an unexpected way, Alex and Lily felt grateful for the chance to be together again. They spent their free time talking and catching up. They walked through the camp, sharing stories about their time apart. Their bond grew stronger as they faced the challenges of their new environment together. Working in Uruk was not easy. There were many dangers and difficulties. One day, a powerful earthquake shook the region, causing buildings to collapse and people to get hurt. Lily and her team worked around the clock to treat the injured. Alex and his fellow soldiers helped by rescuing people from the rubble and bringing them to the hospital. Through the chaos and the hardships, Alex and Lily supported each other. They learned to understand the pressures and risks of each other's jobs. Lily saw firsthand the bravery and compassion that Alex showed in his work, and Alex admired Lily's dedication and kindness. Their relationship was tested by the harsh realities they faced daily. One day, a group of injured soldiers arrived at the hospital. Among them was Alex's close friend, Sergeant Markley. Mark was badly hurt, and his condition was critical. Lily had to operate on him immediately. Alex was anxious but trusted Lily's skills completely. He stayed by Mark's side, praying for his friend's recovery. Lily worked tirelessly to save Mark's life. After hours of intense surgery, she finally emerged from the operating room, exhausted but relieved. She told Alex that Mark would survive. Alex felt a wave of gratitude and admiration for Lily. He knew that without her, his friend might not have made it. As the days turned into weeks, Alex and Lily continued to face challenges together. They grew closer, finding strength in their shared experiences. Their love for each other deepened, and they realized that they could rely on each other no matter what obstacles came their way. One evening, Alex took Lily to a quiet hill overlooking the camp. The sky was filled with stars, and the air was cool and refreshing. Alex looked into Lily's eyes and told her how much he loved her. He said that no matter how difficult things got, he wanted to be with her. Lily felt her heart swell with happiness. She told Alex that she felt the same way. Alex and Lily knew that their journey in Uruk was far from over. They had many more challenges to face and many more lives to save. But they also knew that they had each other, and that made them feel stronger. Together, they were ready to face whatever the future held. Part 2. Trials and Tribulations. As Alex and Lily continued their work in Uruk, the days seemed to blend together in a whirlwind of activity. The makeshift hospital was always busy, filled with people who needed medical attention. Lily and her team worked tirelessly to help everyone who came through their doors. They treated injuries, illnesses, and provided comfort to those in distress.
Despite the challenging conditions, Lily felt fulfilled knowing she was making a difference. Alex's work was no less demanding. He and his fellow soldiers patrolled the area, ensuring the safety of the people and providing aid wherever needed. They faced many dangers, from landmines to armed conflicts. Alex's leadership and bravery were crucial in keeping his team and the local population safe. Whenever he had a moment to spare, he would visit Lily at the hospital, bringing a sense of calm and reassurance. One day, a severe storm hit Uruk, causing widespread damage. The hospital was flooded with patients, and resources were stretched thin.
Lily and her team worked around the clock, doing their best to provide care. Alex and his soldiers were busy too, rescuing people trapped in the wreckage and helping to restore order. In the midst of the chaos, Lily noticed a young girl who was crying and seemed to be in pain. The girl's name was Amina, and she had been separated from her family during the storm. She had a deep cut on her leg that needed immediate attention. Lily gently reassured Amina and began to treat her wound. As she worked, she spoke softly to the girl, trying to comfort her. Just then, Alex arrived at the hospital with a group of rescued villagers. He saw Lily caring for Amina and felt a surge of admiration for her. Despite the overwhelming situation, Lily remained calm and compassionate. He approached her and asked how he could help. Lily smiled at him gratefully and handed him some bandages. Together, they worked to treat the injured. As the storm subsided and the situation began to stabilize, Alex and Lily finally had a moment to rest. They sat outside the hospital, watching the sunset. The sky was painted with hues of orange and pink, a beautiful contrast to the destruction they had witnessed. Alex took Lily's hand and squeezed it gently. "Thank you for being here," Alex said softly. "You make everything feel more bearable." Lily looked at him, her eyes filled with warmth. "I'm glad we're here together. We make a good team." Their bond continued to grow stronger as they faced more challenges together. They found comfort and strength in each other, knowing they were not alone in their struggles. However, their happiness was soon overshadowed by a new threat. One evening, as Lily was finishing her rounds, a group of armed men stormed into the hospital. They were members of a local militia, angry and demanding medical supplies. The hospital staff and patients were terrified. Lily stood her ground, trying to calm the situation. She explained that the supplies were for everyone and that they needed to share them fairly. The leader of the militia, a man named Zaid, was not easily convinced. He threatened the staff and patients, creating an atmosphere of fear and tension. Just as the situation was about to escalate, Alex and his team arrived. They quickly assessed the situation and took action to protect everyone. Alex approached Zaid and spoke firmly, "We're here to help everyone. Put down your weapons and let's talk this through." Zaid hesitated, but the presence of the soldiers made him reconsider. After a tense standoff, he finally agreed to leave peacefully. Alex and his team escorted the militia out of the hospital, ensuring that no one was harmed. Lily felt a wave of relief wash over her. She was grateful for Alex's quick thinking and bravery. That night, as they sat together in the quiet of the hospital courtyard, Lily thanked Alex for his help. "You saved us today," she said softly. "I don't know what we would have done without you." Alex smiled and shook his head. "We saved them together. You were brave too, standing up to those men. I'm proud of you." Their relationship grew deeper as they continued to support each other through the challenges of their mission. They shared their fears and hopes, finding solace in each other's company. Despite the hardships, they found moments of joy and laughter, making the difficult days a little brighter. One day, a group of international aid workers arrived in Uruk. Among them was Dr. James Carter, a renowned surgeon who had worked in many conflict zones. He was there to assist Lily and her team, bringing much-needed expertise and supplies. James and Lily quickly formed a strong professional bond, working together to improve the hospital's capabilities. Alex noticed the camaraderie between Lily and James and felt a pang of jealousy. He trusted Lily completely, but he couldn't help but feel insecure. He worried that James's presence might change things between them. One evening, as they sat together after a long day, Alex decided to share his feelings with Lily. "Lily, I need to talk to you about something," Alex began, his voice hesitant. "I know you and Dr. Carter are working closely together, and that's great. But I can't help feeling a little left out." Lily looked at him with understanding. "Alex, you have nothing to worry about. James is a colleague and a friend, but you are the one I care about. We're in this together, and nothing will change that. Alex felt a weight lift off his shoulders. He smiled and took her hand. "Thank you for understanding." I just needed to hear that. Their relationship remained strong, bolstered by their open communication and mutual trust. They continued to face the challenges of their mission with determination and resilience. As time went on, the situation in Urich began to improve. The hospital was better equipped, and the local people were receiving the help they needed, but the work was far from over. One day, news came of a nearby village that had been hit by a sudden outbreak of a deadly disease. The villagers were in desperate need of medical assistance. Lily and her team prepared to travel to the village, bringing with them all the supplies they could carry. Alex and his soldiers would accompany them, providing protection and support. As they set off on their journey, Alex and Lily felt a sense of determination. They knew that their work was making a difference, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Part 3. Facing the Epidemic. The journey to the village was long and challenging. The roads were rough, and the team had to navigate through difficult terrain. Despite the hardships, Lily and Alex were determined to reach the village and provide the necessary aid. The villagers were in desperate need, and time was of the essence. When they finally arrived, they were met with a heartbreaking scene. Many of the villagers were sick, and the local clinic was overwhelmed. The disease had spread rapidly, and there were not enough resources to treat everyone. Lily quickly assessed the situation and began organizing the medical team. "Everyone, we need to set up a temporary clinic here," Lily instructed. "We'll need to prioritize the most critical cases and make sure we follow strict hygiene protocols to prevent further spread." Alex and his soldiers helped set up tents and brought in supplies. The villagers watched with a mix of hope and fear, praying that the medical team could save their loved ones. Lily and her team worked tirelessly, treating as many patients as they could. They administered medication, provided clean water, and educated the villagers on how to prevent the disease from spreading further. As the days went by, the situation slowly began to improve. The medical team's efforts were making a difference, and more villagers were starting to recover. However, the work was exhausting, and the constant pressure took a toll on everyone. Lily pushed herself to the limit, often working late into the night. One evening, as Lily was finishing her rounds, she felt a wave of dizziness. She stumbled and had to catch herself on a nearby table. Alex, who had been keeping a watchful eye on her, rushed to her side. "Lily, you need to rest," Alex said gently. "You've been working nonstop, and you're going to make yourself sick." Lily shook her head, trying to stay focused. "There are still so many people who need help. I can't stop now." Alex took her hand and led her to a chair. "You can't help anyone if you collapse from exhaustion. Please, take a break. I'll stay with you." Reluctantly, Lily agreed. She sat down and closed her eyes, feeling the weight of the past few days catch up with her. Alex sat beside her, holding her hand and offering words of encouragement. They sat in silence for a while, finding comfort in each other's presence. After a short rest, Lily felt a bit better and returned to her work. She knew that Alex was right. She needed to take care of herself if she wanted to help others. She made a promise to pace herself and rely more on her team. As the medical team continued their efforts, they received unexpected help. Dr. James Carter arrived with additional supplies and more medical staff. His arrival was a welcome relief, and the extra hands made a significant difference. James and Lily worked closely together, coordinating the response and ensuring that every patient received the care they needed. Alex observed the teamwork and felt a renewed sense of pride in Lily. She was an incredible leader, and her dedication inspired everyone around her. He also noticed that his initial jealousy had faded. He realized that James's presence only strengthened their efforts, and he was grateful for the support. One day, a young boy named Tariq was brought to the clinic. He was severely ill, and his condition was critical. Lily and James worked together to stabilize him, but it was clear that he needed more specialized care than they could provide in the temporary clinic. They decided to transport him to the main hospital, where he could receive the treatment he needed. Alex volunteered to lead the transport team. He knew the journey would be dangerous, but he was determined to get Tariq to the hospital safely. Lily watched as Alex prepared for the journey, feeling a mix of pride and worrying. She trusted him completely, but she also knew how risky the mission was. "Be careful," Lily said, her voice filled with concern, "and come back to me safely." Alex smiled and kissed her forehead. "I promise. We'll get Tariq to the hospital, and I'll be back before you know it." The journey to the hospital was fraught with challenges. The roads were treacherous, and they had to navigate through areas still affected by the conflict. But Alex and his team were determined. They worked together, overcoming obstacles and ensuring that Tariq received the care he needed. When they finally arrived at the hospital, Tariq was rushed into surgery. Lily had sent word ahead, and the hospital staff were ready to provide the specialized treatment. Alex stayed by Tariq's side, offering support and comfort until he was stable. Back in the village, Lily anxiously awaited news of Tariq's condition. When she received word that he had arrived safely and was being treated, she felt a wave of relief. She knew that the journey had been difficult, and she was grateful to Alex and his team for their bravery. As the days passed, the situation in the village continued to improve. The number of new cases decreased, and more villagers were starting to recover. The medical team's efforts were paying off, and the community began to regain hope. One evening, as the sun set over the village, Alex returned. He was tired but relieved to be back. Lily ran to him and hugged him tightly, feeling a sense of gratitude and love. "You did it," Lily said, her voice filled with emotion. "You saved Tariq." Alex smiled and held her close. "We all did it. This is what we're here for." Their bond had grown even stronger through the challenges they had faced. They had learned to rely on each other and support one another in ways they had never imagined. Their love had been tested and had emerged stronger and more resilient. As the situation in the village stabilized, Lily and Alex took a moment to reflect on their journey. They had faced countless obstacles, but they had also experienced moments of incredible joy and triumph. They knew that their work was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever came next together. Part 4. The Road Ahead. With the village stabilizing, the medical team and soldiers had a moment to catch their breath. The villagers were beginning to recover, and there was a sense of hope in the air. Lily and Alex took a rare evening off to sit under the stars and talk about everything they had been through. "You know, I never imagined I would find someone like you in a place like this," Alex said, holding Lily's hand. "You make me want to be better every day." Lily smiled and rested her head on his shoulder. "I feel the same way." This place has tested us in so many ways, but it's also shown me what's really important. As they sat together, a sense of peace settled over them. They had faced so many challenges, but they had come through them stronger and more united. They knew that their journey was far from over, but they were ready to face it together.
The next morning, the team received news of a new challenge. There had been a landslide in a nearby village, and many people were injured. The team quickly gathered their supplies and set out to help. Alex and Lily knew this was another test of their skills and determination.
When they arrived at the village, the scene was chaotic. The landslide had caused significant damage, and many people were trapped under the rubble. The medical team set up a triage area to assess and treat the injured, while Alex and his soldiers worked to rescue those still trapped. Lily and James worked side by side, treating the most critical cases. The injuries were severe, and resources were limited, but they did everything they could to save lives. As the day turned into night, they continued their work, driven by the urgent need to help. Meanwhile, Alex led his team through the rubble, searching for survivors. They worked tirelessly, often in dangerous conditions, to reach those in need. Their efforts paid off, and they managed to rescue many villagers who were trapped. One of the people they rescued was an elderly woman named Fatima. She had been trapped under the rubble for hours and was in critical condition. Alex carried her to the triage area, where Lily and James quickly began to treat her. As they worked, Fatima whispered weakly, "Thank you." "Thank you for saving me," Lily smiled reassuringly. "You're going to be okay. We're here to help." Fatima's condition was severe, and she needed to be transported to the main hospital for further treatment. Once again, Alex volunteered to lead the transport team. He knew the journey would be difficult, but he was determined to get Fatima the help she needed. Before they left, Lily took Alex's hand. "Be careful," she said softly, "and come back safely." "I will," Alex promised, squeezing her hand. "I'll see you soon." The journey to the hospital was perilous, with rough terrain and unstable roads. But Alex and his team persevered, driven by their mission to save lives. When they finally arrived at the hospital, Fatima was immediately taken into surgery. Back at the village, Lily continued her work, treating the injured and coordinating the medical response. She was exhausted but remained focused, knowing that every moment counted. The villagers looked to her for guidance and reassurance, and she did everything she could to provide it. As the days passed, the situation in the village began to improve. The medical team's efforts were making a significant difference, and more villagers were starting to recover. Alex returned safely, bringing news that Fatima had survived and was receiving the care she needed. Lily felt a sense of relief and pride. They had faced yet another challenge and had come through it together. Their bond had been strengthened by their shared experiences, and they knew they could rely on each other no matter what. One evening, as they sat together under the stars, Alex took Lily's hand. "We've been through so much," he said softly. "But I wouldn't want to face any of it without you." Lily looked into his eyes and smiled. "Me neither. We make a great team." Their time in Uruk had taught them many lessons. They had learned about resilience, courage, and the power of teamwork. They had faced danger and uncertainty, but they had also found love and companionship. Their journey was far from over, but they were ready to face whatever the future held. As the situation in Uruk continued to stabilize, Lily and Alex began to think about their future. They knew their mission in Uruk would come to an end eventually, and they wondered what would come next. They talked about their dreams and aspirations, knowing that whatever path they chose, they wanted to walk it together. One day, news came that the mission in Uruk was nearing its end. The situation had improved significantly, and the local government was taking over the recovery efforts. Lily and Alex felt a mix of emotions. They were proud of what they had accomplished, but they also knew it was time to move on. As they prepared to leave, the villagers gathered to thank them. They expressed their gratitude for the medical team's efforts and the soldiers' bravery. Fatima, now recovered, hugged Lily and Alex, tears of gratitude in her eyes. "You have saved our lives and given us hope," Fatima said. "We will never forget you." Lily and Alex felt a deep sense of fulfillment. They had made a difference in the lives of the people of Uruk, and that was a reward in itself. On their last night in Uruk, Alex took Lily to the quiet hill overlooking the camp. The stars shone brightly above, and the air was cool and refreshing. Alex held Lily's hand and looked into her eyes. "Lily, I've been thinking a lot about our future," Alex began. "I love you, and I can't imagine my life without you. Will you marry me?" Lily felt a surge of emotion. She had dreamed of this moment but hadn't expected it to come so soon. She smiled and nodded, tears of joy in her eyes. "Yes, Alex, I will marry you." They hugged each other tightly, feeling a sense of happiness and hope for the future. They knew their journey together had just begun, and they were ready to face it with love and determination. As they left Uruk, hand in hand, they looked back one last time at the place where their bond had been forged. They had faced incredible challenges and had come through them stronger and more united. Their love had been tested and had emerged victorious. Together, they were ready to face whatever the future held, knowing that as long as they had each other, they could overcome anything. Their journey was far from over, but with their love and strength, they were ready for the road ahead. Subscribe to the channel if you like this story. Also, watch other stories on my channel. The link to the playlist with stories is in the description.